All right, now there's not a lot of information, a lot of news going in to this Monday about Bryan Kohberger and the Idaho 4, but what we do have is kind of hot. It's kind of interesting. I'm thejbgunner, this is Crime Time. Today we're going to talk about Bryan Kohberger's new court date, and he has an alibi. I'm thejbgunner, let's go ahead and get things started. Let's do it.
Bring it back.
What's going on, everybody? As you guys know, I'm thejbgunner, and this is Crime Time. Now, before we get started with this small video with small news, I do want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports the channel, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Regardless, I couldn't do this without each and every one of you that's in the Gun Squad. Big shout out to you guys. If you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Show your boys some love. Support the channel. Join the Gun Squad today. And if you're not a complete bitch, you may want to check out some of my other channels, like my politics channel, my live stream channel. Let's just snowflake, just stay away, just stay over here, stay over here. All right, gaming channel, whatever. All right, but what we're gonna do, this is gonna be a quick Monday morning video because, to be perfectly honest, there's not a whole lot of news that has occurred over the weekend or anything like this, but the news we do have is kind of major. Now, there was a few YouTubers that broke this over the weekend. Basically what there is there's this site called Vine. And this site called Vine essentially lets you look up legal information, court information for any inmate for pretty much throughout the entire country. And we got some interesting information. What we're going to do is we're going to head on over here to Sleuthy. Sleuthy is my favorite Twitter I guess you could say sleuth. Anyway, she says, y'all, the preliminary hearing is the same amount of days. Now, what does this matter? Because in the beginning, it was said that the preliminary hearing changed. Because what we did was we saw new court dates. There is one for this month, believe it or not. But also, everybody went on and on about how the preliminary hearing had switched to June 30th. The reality of this is it did not switch to June 30th. All of those dates are still here. As she said here, the preliminary hearing is still the same amount of days. This was texted today. They only put the last day in the Vine, which is the day she'd make her ruling. They're not canceled. So if you take a look here, Sleuthy has all the information. Literally, each court date from the 27th, 29th, all of this, 28th, all of the court dates are still here. So for everyone that has been saying, that the preliminary hearing has changed, that's incorrect. It's not true. It's still listed as the same 5 dates that we knew of before, which starts on the 26th and then goes to the 30th. That's essentially what we have. And so, you know, take that for what it's worth. At the end of the day, it's going to get continued anyway. It's not like we're going to have a guilty or not guilty, plea or we're not going to get into the case is not going to be finalized on that day, just to let you guys know. There's no way. But there's something else I want to show you from Sleuthy. There is a new hearing set in the case. May 25th, 10 a.m. This is a motion hearing. Now, this does excite me. Because as someone that's faced criminal cases, as someone that's been in cases like this, look, man, yes, there are a lot of different things that Bryan Kohberger could be filing a motion for. It could be a motion for a change of venue. It could be, there's some people that believe that it could be Ann Taylor recusing herself. Those people are just fucking retards, right? Those are the same people that believe El Chapo killed the kids, right? Those are, the dummies. Let's just call it what it is. But also, if you want to, this could be a motion for dismissal. This could be a motion for discovery. This could be anything. So just to be perfect, now typically they don't do a court hearing for a motion to discovery. A judge usually just approves that because, to be perfectly honest, discovery is a very important part of any criminal hearing, any criminal case. It's just something that usually you can file a motion with and you don't necessarily have to go to court for. I'm very interested to see what May 25th is. So let's take back another look here. We got May 25th at the Latah County Courthouse, 10 a.m. That is this month, ladies and gentlemen. That is this month. Let's go ahead and scroll on down here because she's always got some shit. So Vine showed her this. As you can see here, court event for Bryan Kohberger was scheduled on May 25th at 10 a.m. Of course, the date may change. Now, a lot of people began reporting on this weekend. A lot of people was unsure if it was an error. Here's my thoughts on this. I believe that Bryan Kohberger's attorneys are going to interview Bethany Funk prior to this hearing. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I feel like this is a motion for dismissal. Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? Wouldn't that be crazy? Just think about that for just 1 second. They set up this interview. Now all of a sudden we have this. Guys, I got some other news for you. If you look at Fox 10 Phoenix, Bryan Kohberger claims he has an alibi. Now, there's not much here. If you look right here, it says the alleged murder of the Idaho 4 college students, Bryan Kohberger, claims that he has an alibi. That's all the information that's there. That's all we got. But it comes from Fox. So take that with a grain of salt, whether you believe him, don't believe him. It seems like an awkward thing to just put in there. Now, I've Google searched and I've researched this, and I can't find anybody else reporting it. At this very moment, only Fox 10 Arizona. Could be a mistake. It could be whatever. But they're saying now that Bryan Kohberger claims to have an alibi. Let me ask you a question, because if you really think about this, there's a couple things I want you to think about. Bryan Kohberger, in his defense, believes that Bethany Funk has information that could exonerate him. Something else I want to show you guys while we're here and while we're dressed. Check this shit out. All right, let's go over here. Well, Bethany Funk told police about Bryan Kohberger, Idaho murder case. I want to show you something way down here. That is something I've never really talked about. The final mention of Funk in the affidavit states that the police reviewed forensic downloads from her phone and determined that the homicides occurred between 4 and 4:25 a.m. Hold on. Forensic downloads from Bethany Funk's phone? Why would Bethany Funk's phone have forensic downloads that would enable you to determine the time of murders? Doesn't that seem a little weird to all of you? So let me get this straight. Kohberger in the defense knows that Bethany Funk knows some shit that can exonerate him. Bryan Kohberger says he has an alibi. The police are using digital downloads from Bethany Funk's phone. Why have we been so focused on Dylan? You see what I'm saying? There's something goofy going on here. Is it possible that Bryan Kohberger was busting them cheeks? Is it possible that Bryan Kohberger was fucking Bethany? Is it even possible that he was there that night? Is it possible that Bryan Kohberger was banging Bethany Funk? And that's why she doesn't want to go testify, because ultimately she had a man. Woo! Woo, what a tangled web we weave. Man, you hoes ain't shit. You hoes ain't shit. But anyways, you got to ask yourself all these questions. Why is, because think about it. We all have thought that Dylan seemed sketchy. Dylan seemed fraudulent. Bryan Kohberger seems to have his attention set on one person and one person only. That person being Bethany Funk. Wow. So I'm curious what you guys think. Number one, do you think that was a typo? Bryan Kohberger, does he have an alibi? Could that alibi be Bethany Funk? And is that why she doesn't want to testify? Because she don't want her boyfriend. And you see what I'm saying? Why was her phone used to determine the deaths? How would her phone be used to determine the deaths? Actually, to me, this seems like a strange thing. This actually doesn't look as good for Kohberger as it looks, as it sounds. Let me explain to you why. What if her phone clearly shows that Bryan Kohberger was at that house with Bethany between the time of 4 and 4:25? What happened? And we saw Bryan Kohberger speed away, leave. What happens in that scenario? What happens if we find out that Bryan Kohberger was with Bethany Funk? She's his alibi. Alibi for what? The alibi would place you in the scene. See, right now, none of us know for sure that Bryan Kohberger was even in the house. You guys know my position. I don't believe there's enough evidence. Let's think about the IDs that they found, the ID that they found. Is it possible that Bryan Kohberger has Bethany Funk's ID? Were they an item? That would kill y'all's incel theory, right? Because Bethany Funk's fine as fuck. Bethany Funk's fine as shit. Just a quick question. We talked about it before. We talked about possible Bryan with Dylan. Now we have to think about the possibility with Bethany because too many things are. The Kohberger defense is honed in on Bethany. What does she know? Is she the ID that he has? Why does her phone get to tell us when the killings happened? She was on the phone. What sense does that make? Is it possible because the phone has evidence that Bryan Kohberger was at that house around that time? Is that why they believe that they saw his white Elantra? Was he there? Was he fucking Bethany? Did he leave the house that night? And I hate to say it because you know I defend Kohberger. Is it possible on his way out he decided to fuck some people up? I don't know. Is it possible that Kohberger had Kopaka or whatever his fucking name is with him? Because think about it, how many times, if I'm going to a house and I got a chick and I got a boy with me, I'm like, yeah, man, they got some girlfriends over there, come on with me, right? So is it possible that, what's his name, Brett? Is it possible that Kohberger and Brett was there, Brent, or whatever the motherfucker's name is, the dude that's dead? Is it possible that they was both there? Bryan was down there busting the cakes, busting them cheeks of Bethany Funk, and Kopaka, or whatever his name is, was upstairs murdering everybody. Is that possible? And Kohberger saw that shit and he said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. But then again, why would he leave Bethany? Well, you know, I'd get the fuck out too. Fuck that bitch. She can stay there and deal with it. I'm out, y'all. Peace. Let me know what you guys think, honestly. I could be way off, but Kohberger, unless that was an error, says he has an alibi. Let me know what you guys think. I'm JB Gunner, this is Crime Time. If you like what I do here and you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Show your boys some love. I love y'all. If this was a short video, I know. If some more news breaks, I'll get it to you, but this is all we have. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Peace out.